did this task yesterday and you worked with a partner to help you solve it. Can someone remind me what was happening in this story? Every person should be able to raise their hand because you solved this story yesterday and it's written on the board and it's written in front of you. What was happening in this story? Jayla, what was happening?
Mr. Morgan's class had packs of juice boxes for the third grade party, and some packs came with 6 juice boxes and some came with 4.
Yeah. So we had some kids bringing in juice boxes. Some kids brought in little 6-packs. Some kids brought in 4-packs. What else did we know about these juice boxes? What else did we know about these juice boxes? Rylan, what else did we know? Yes, we know that 104 juice boxes in total showed up to the classroom. Evelyn?
We also know that it has to be a 6-pack or a 4-pack of juice boxes.
Yep, we're not bringing in just individual juice boxes. We're not bringing in like the mega crates of 30 juice boxes. They're either coming in packs of 6 or packs of 4.
What if you did them together?
Did they come in packs of 6 and packs of 4? Yes, leave your shoes on. I'm not having this conversation with you again. There are a couple of ways that we could tackle this problem. Look at what you did with your group. What was your strategy? Because remember, there could be many ways to solve this problem. Not one way. There are many ways that I saw each group doing. What was your strategy? Macklin, what was your strategy? Okay, so Macklin's group kind of just made groups until they got there. I saw Bryson and Carl doing that also. Fine strategy. What else was a strategy that maybe you used? Zach, what was a strategy you used?
We put 6 and 4 together and make 10 and then do 10 of those.
Okay. Can you explain the 6 and 4? What are you talking about when you say 6 and 4? Okay, so Zach is saying that his group started and they made a group of 6 and then a group of 4 and then they smushed them together to kind of say that gave us 10 juice boxes. Why did you choose to smush them together like that?
Because then if we did the 6 and we have to count out.
Okay.
2.
Yeah, it's harder to count by 6s. It's harder to count by 4s. So Zach said, hey, if I put a 6-pack and a 4-pack together, I'm now counting by 10s. Is it easier to count by 10s? Yeah. Well, what if we did another 6 and another 4? That gives me another 10. How many juice boxes do I have so far? 20. Yeah.
We use a bar model.
Mm-hmm.
We add the 6s and 4s together, and then we add 1 to 4, and then we got 1 to 4.
Yeah, that'd have to be a really long bar model. But Gio's group knew, hey, my total was gonna be 104. We already know that. We just don't know how many bars. So they might have said, okay, I'm going to put a 6, maybe another 6, maybe another 6, maybe some 4s. And they would keep going until that bottom bar was also worth 104. Sit up. Let's talk about equations. I hear groups of things. Do you hear groups of things? Are things in groups? What are in groups? What are the things in groups? Not a trick question. Mackenzie?
The juice boxes, because the juice boxes are on that.
Okay, our juice boxes are in groups. What operation could I use if I'm counting groups? What operation could I use if I'm counting groups? Kaden? Multiplication. Because remember, that means groups of. What's one of our groups? How many comes in one of our groups? Tegan? 6. So we had some number of 6. If you don't have the equation, yes, write the equation down. What about the other group? What was the other group? Huxley? 4. Some group of 4.
Or if you already have like a different equation than that.
If you don't have this one, write it down. What did you do with the groups of 6 and the groups of 4? What operation did you do there? Heidi?
Addition.
Yeah. So I might have said, okay, here's my groups of 6.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add them to my groups of 4. Does that make sense? I'm just putting in math language the things that you already did. How many juice boxes did I end up with? What's my total? Or my whole? Zach? Yeah. Get out your tasks from yesterday. Evelyn? Sure. Tegan and Bryson, this is not a coloring page. If you're looking for kindergarten, you're on the wrong call. Go ahead, Evelyn.
But we added the 4 and the 6 to make a 10
Uh-huh.
on another line, and then we kept adding 4 and 6, 4 and 6 until we got to 100.
Yeah.
And we added another 4 to get to 104. And then we just counted how many numbers in each to get
How many groups of 6 did your group have? Everyone should be raising their hand right now because not everyone got the same answer. How many groups of 6 did your group have? Colby? 16. So Colby, you're going to fill in 16 here. If you did not have 16, are you going to write 16? No. Ariana, what did your group have? 10. A lot of you ended up with 10. If you had 10, fill it in. Bryson, how many did your group have? 0. It said they came in groups of 6 or 4. It didn't say they had to be in. You had to use all of them. So Bryson, if you had 0 groups of 6, how many groups of 4 did you have?
I can't find it.
6 groups of 4. So this is what Bryson's equation looks like. And we can solve it. What's 0 groups of 6 worth? We gotta do 24 or 26 groups of 4, but we know the answer is 104. So what do you think 26 groups of 4 is? 0 plus something is 104.
0 plus.
Can be? It's gonna be 104. Because 0 plus 104 is 104. Most of you did not do that. Most of you had 10 groups of 6. And then how many groups of 4? Raise your hand to tell me. Please don't yell out at me. Huxley? 11. Let's see if that works. What's 10 groups of 6 worth? 60. What's 11 groups of 4 worth? 44. And what's going to be our total? Very different than what Bryce and Carl got. But was the total still the same? Yeah. Mac, you guys got something different. How many groups of 6 did you guys get? 16. Which means how many groups of 4 did you get?
2.
2. All right, if I break apart 16 into 10 and 6, 10 groups of 6 is worth 6 groups of 6. What is 6 groups of 6 worth? What's 6 groups of 5? Add another 6. Jaden? 36. 60 plus 30. Oops, that says 39. 60 plus 36. 60 plus 36. Oh, you can add that. Add your 1s. Add your 10s. John? No, if you're not answering this question, no, I'm not interested. Zach? 96, good. 2 groups of 4. Come on, y'all. What's 96 plus 8 gonna be worth? 104. Very different. But does it still get us to the same whole? Yeah, very cool. Heidi?
I used a different.
What'd you use?
So I used the same strategy as Zach. Adding the 6 plus 4, and I just did 10. I just used addition, and I did 10 plus 4.
Yeah. We're just using the kicked up version, remember? We're getting out of just thinking of things as adding. That's very K2. Now we're getting into some 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade stuff. Now we gotta start thinking, okay, I'm not just adding a bunch of stuff. I can group it. I can go faster because I'm smarter, because I know about multiplication. We're dealing with something a little more powerful. Addition will still work, right? I could still write out 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. Mathematically correct, yes. But let's be a little more efficient. Rylan?
So instead of doing 10 to 10 to 10 to 10, I just did 10 times. Because
you had 10 groups of 10.
Because 10 is much more easy number to think of, and you wouldn't want to put it
I need you, if you sit at tables 1, 2, 3, 4, to turn this into the math bin, please. Really helpful. We have spent a lot of time. Sit down. We have spent a lot of time with me giving you a story and you figuring out the equation. Yes? Today we're going to switch it. So today, I'm going to give you the equation, and I want you to come up with the story that would go with it. Okay? So, our first one. We are going to be writing some story problems. Here's the problem that I want. I want this equation to match your story, and I want your story to also have bananas. I don't care what else it's got, but it also has to have bananas. Before we do that, someone translate this equation to English, because that's going to help me when I'm writing my story. What does that equation mean in English? If you don't know, my chart has fallen, but it is over there. But you're not sitting there saying, I don't know. You're solving your problem. Kaden, read it to me in English.
42 jars put into 6 equal groups and
In each group. 42 things put into 6 groups has the same value as mystery things in each group. Go ahead and write your write your story. Just remember, it has to have bananas. I don't care what else it has, but it has to have bananas. When you finish, give me a secret thumb. New equation. This time, your equation has to match that, and has to be about puppies. Before we start, translate this equation into English. If you're not looking at the board, it's hard to do that. What does that equation mean in English? Because that's going to help you write your story. Jalen?
5 groups of spot savers is the same value as 25.
Okay. This is your equation. I'll give you 2 minutes to write your story that matches that. It has to be that equation, and it has to have puppies.
Does that have blanket?
Well, you'll probably use the word like some for blank instead of a number. If you finish early, give me a secret thumb. All right, let's see what we got.
I got English only 6.
All right, this time you have to write a story that matches this, and it has to have Bryson. Bryson the person, yes. All right, before we do that, read this equation to me in English so we can make sure that our story will match. What does this equation mean in English? I see a lot more hands than 4. We're not writing yet. Translate that equation to me in English. What is it talking about? Ariana. 15 things. Put into spot saver groups. Okay, your things are probably not going to be Brysons. I believe we only have 1 of them, not 15 of them. Let's think about it. Right. Go ahead, make your story. All right, Bryson. Since this problem has to be about you anyway, let's see what Bryson thinks about Bryson. Hang on, we gotta be listening.
Bryson has 15 puppies. He puts them into 5 groups. How many puppies are in each group?
Okay.
Wait, do we?
Bryson has 15 puppies. Does that match what that 15 means? Yes. Is he putting them into groups? Yes or no? Yes. He used all those words. Did his story have Bryson in it?
Yes.
Yes. Then that story matches that equation. All right, Carl, let's hear it.
Bryson has 15 hands.
15 what?
15 hands.
Candy. Got it.
Okay. He wants to put them into groups of 3. Now he has 5 candies left.
All right, let's listen to Carl. He's got a good start. Read it one more time, Carl. Let's make sure he's matching the equation.
Bryson has 15 candies. He wants to put them into groups of 3. Now he has 5 candies left over.
I hear 15 candies. That matches. I hear groups of 3. That'll work. But is it going to be 5 left over?
No.
What is that 5 going to be? You're so close, Carl. If I have 15 candies and I put 3 in each group, that 5 is going to be my,
Number of groups.
it's going to be my groups. So Carl, just change that ending. Now he has 5 groups, because that 5 is our groups. Begin.
Bryson has 15 pizzas. Each pizza has 5 pepperonis on it.
He has 15 pizzas, and each pizza has 5 pepperonis. Is that going to be 15 sharing? You just made a multiplication problem.
Oh.
Because now you have 15 groups of 5. We need a division problem. So we're looking for words like shared or put into groups. So back it up. He's got 15 pizzas. How is he going to put those into groups, Tegan? Someone help Tegan out. What could she do with those pieces? Bryson's got 15 pizzas and he's putting them into groups. What could her words be? Evelyn? He can share them with some number of groups. Sure. What else could Tegan do with those pizzas? Ariana? Okay, so sharing with people. Rylan, what else could Tegan do with those pizzas? Okay, so we could change it from pizzas to pizza slices and then share out that way. You got some ideas, Tegan? All right, we got one more. Last one. Last story. New story. This time, your story has to match this equation and has to have Rylan. All right. I think we know what that equation means in English. Look at